Hello guys and welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. Once again I'm Greg and I'm going to be giving you my predicted lineup for our weekend top of the table clash against Crystal Palace. Now I'm going to try and make this one fairly short and sweet. Obviously there's not going to be a huge amount, if any, change to the league team we've been playing, because I'd be crazy to come out and say to suggest that something in that team needed changing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm not going to go out and suggest that we make any radical wholesale changes just based on a few good performances in the Cup. Ancelotti's just had his press conference and there's no fresh injuries, so on that front we're not seeing any need for a change either. But we'll still go through player by player, talk about and maybe speculate on where there could be changes, what we might see going forward, and what we might like to see going forward as well. So that being said, we'll start in goal with Jordan Pickford. Not the flavour of the month at the moment. He made two big mistakes in the Cup, where we should have gone clear in that game at least by half time. A couple of Pickford mistakes were sort of dragging us back down to the point we were actually having to fight. That game could have been done a lot earlier if we'd have had someone in goal who looked a bit more composed and didn't have those mistakes in his game. It seems like he's either flying high or really setting us back at the moment. It's tough with him. Very tough, especially for that second goal. You think, if you haven't made that look so theatrical, it's straight down your gullet. Ignore the fact that it's a bicycle kick. Obviously, that gives it that inch more flair that makes people go, oh, it's not so bad. It's a tough shot. But really, it's straight down his centre. If he just keeps a strong base, then that's parryable or catchable at least. But that being said, I think he starts in goal. And from what Ancelotti said in his press conference, we're not looking to bring in a second keeper or a new signing, I should say. Obviously, Virginia now has sort of stepped up into that second keeper role, but we're not looking to bring in a new keeper. So those Romero links are probably being pushed out a little bit too much by people. So obviously Pickford looks quite safe in goal, and then at right back, Seamus Coleman back in the team. John Joe Kenny had quite a good game against Fleetwood, but as I said last week, he's not knocking enough to misplace Coleman, who doesn't look too bad at the moment. Obviously, that right side can be quite easily exploited, or at least a little bit more than the left, because James in front isn't expected to do as much defensively, but where Decore plays sort of box to box, he goes out there a little bit. But I think Coleman still retains his place on the right. And then, as Branthwaite and Holgate are still out, I think our our centre back partnership is pretty strong in Mina and Keane. Keane keeps going from strength to strength for me at the moment. I'm very happy with how he is. He's really added goals from set pieces or danger from set pieces into his game, and Mina looks like he's improving as well. Criticisms of him in the past have been that he's not as composed or he's not as good with the ball at his feet, but we're seeing better signs. Against West Brom, he backed off a little bit too much and sort of helped their first goal, but he can take this chance whilst injuries are keeping him in the team. When Holgate comes back, I expect him to take that place. And here comes maybe the first bit of speculation, is that in centre-backs, we've seen a bit of a makeshift Luca Dean at centre-back, or we did against Fleetwood, and he looked pretty good in the position. You could tell, even though he was out of place, he was one of the more quality players in our team, and he still did a good job there, which would obviously free up the next position at left for Nkunku, which could be an interesting thing to see, maybe a way of shoehorning them both into the team whilst they look quality. Nkunku looked fantastic, absolutely fantastic, running out of superlatives for him, but I do think Dean will start out left. I know that's a bit confusing, so the back line I'm predicting is Coleman, Mina, Keane and Luca Dean, of course. But I was just suggesting, if there was a way that we really wanted to see Nkunku get into the first team, that could be it, bringing Dean at centre-back for maybe Mina, and then Nkunku out left. But I don't see that personally, and I don't know why we'd change a winning formula, so that's not a suggestion I'd even go with. In the midfield, again, business as usual. Allen looks very good. Decore, those two are untouchable for me. And then slightly in front of them, playing a little bit more of a freer role, Andre Gomez. Now, this is one of the positions where we've got more players vying for it, possibly. Gylfi Sigurdsson obviously is a creative force, and Ancelotti seems to rate him. And to be fair, he started the season brightly. He looks like he's got more contributions in him than he did last season. And the other person who, maybe based on that Fleetwood performance, is knocking could be Bernard. Last season he was played out wide, pretty much primarily, and we saw a real dip in form and quality. But starting against Preston in pre-season, Bernard's been playing through the middle. He's done it in both cup games, where he's had a bit more freedom and he can attack centrally, and he looks a lot better player, a lot more direct. His goal contributions are going up. He had a great game against Fleetwood, in my opinion. So maybe he could be there to play that role. But again, I'm going with Gomez because I'm sticking with the model of keeping it working. Out on the right, of course, James. It still feels incredible to just to be able to say that from doing these last season and the season before, and talking about, you know, maybe like Walcott or Iwobi fighting for a place out there. It just feels good to be able to say nailed on, outright. We'll be seeing James. Fantastic with the sort of baiting players in and switching it to Richarlison or Luca Dean if he's making that run. We're seeing a really good style. We're seeing a bit of identity in our play, something we can go, that's classic Everton at the moment, that is. Whereas, you know, last season we seemed to go forward without any sort of plan, any sort of signature character. But James is really quality on that right, just what we needed. On the left, Richarlison. Nice to see him start getting goals, of course. Only competition there may be Bernard, but you know we're past the point of wanting to see him out wide. So Richarlison out left, adding goals. Obviously, he's looked so hungry for them in the league, but the best he's been able to do at the moment is assists and you know, I'm not complaining. Whilst we're winning, you know, adding goals. I think we're going to see them flow in the league now. Now he's got off the mark in the cup. Fantastic, keep him out there, and him and James have that great connection. And then through the middle, of course, Calvert-Lewin. As I said with Michael Keane, he's going from strength to strength. Under Ancelotti, he looks like he's really elevating his game where he started that progression under Duncan Ferguson. He looks like he's really getting the mentorship he needs to fill that number 9 role. He's being asked to do less hard graft, running the ball into the corners and coming back to get it. He's being told just stay in that area. You don't necessarily have to touch the ball as much as you used to. You don't have to do as much running as you used to. Just make sure you're there in the right place to finish. And that's what he's doing. He's turning into a real poacher. It's great to see. Fair play to Moise Keane. That's what now, four starts and 4 goals. Good to see him getting a bit of confidence, a bit of a boost. I think it'll keep him in Ancelotti's plans. But, you know, I can't see him taking a spot off Calvert-Lewin, who's really on the way up, on the ascendancy. It'll be great to see what he can do this season, especially going into the Euros, and he's definitely knocking on that door at the moment. So that's how I see the team. Pickford in goal, Coleman, Mina, Keane and Dean. Alan, Doucouré and a slightly more advanced Gomez, with James, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison up front. Same team as last week, obviously, but why would I change it? Let me know if you guys have seen anything in the League Cup that would make you think, I'd like to see Iwobi come in. He had a decent game. I'd like to see Bernard come in and play centrally, or Sigurdsson come in and replace Gomez. What do you think about the idea of having Nkunku out left and Dean come central? And do you think Ancelotti is wrong and we should be looking at a new keeper to replace Jordan Pickford? Let me know your thoughts on this, guys, and good luck, and I'll see you next time.